Welcome to Dan ARG YouTube. Emmanuel Aigbogun, they talk about the police brutality wey happen for Benin City for Edo State. They talk how police beat one boy, drag am, enter inside boot. Make I leave you now, make you hear from Emmanuel Aigbogun.
My name
Your name and where you calling from?
my name is Comrade Aigbogo Emmanuel. I called from Benin City, Edo State.
Please, I can't hear you clearly, please.
My
Remove
name
your earpiece, please. I can hear you better.
my name is Comrade Aigbogo Emmanuel. I'm calling you from Benin.
Hello?
Hello, my name is Comrade Aigbogo Emmanuel. I'm calling you from Benin. Yes. The whole of yesterday, I wanted to report an issue to your complaint response unit, but the numbers weren't going through. So I think now that I've gotten you, I think it would be perfect I lay this complaint. Last night at about 11 o'clock, some persons called me from GRA Benin City that they were being intercepted by officers of Nigerian Police Force, and they were forcefully made to pay monies to the police officers before they got their freedom. Their reason was that they suspected them to be Yahoo boys, while these were just young persons who were out of school because of the strike, and they needed to just while away time in one or two drinking joints across the GRA axis of Benin City, Edo State. A warm good morning to you, all my conscious Edo people and Nigerians across the globe. I am no other person than yours, noble right activist, Comrade Aigbogo Emmanuel. And if you're joining me this Sunday morning, the 6th day of March 2022, we are discussing the issue of police brutality and extortion in this societal space of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It will please you all to note that despite the fact that our police are also doing many good achievements out there, but the excesses that sometimes dominates the discourse in the social media space, and that also brought about the NSAS protest we all saw last year. It is so sad that our people no longer take delight in discussing existing solutions in our laws, as the case may be. Some of you know what the harsh situation of policing in Nigeria, meted out on young Nigerians, looks like. For some of you who did not come across this video that happened recently, it's on my wall though, but for the purpose of this broadcast, I will want to share it with the audience this very hour. Sometime last week, we saw a video that popped up on the social media about a young man that was brutalized by some operatives, would I say under patrol, but I know operatives of the Edo State Police Command. And it will also interest you that the Nigerian Police Force also swung into action. The Nigerian Police Force, under the leadership of the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Philip, swung into action. And we saw on the social media space a write-up credited to the force commander PRO.
Sometime last week.
The top 10. What?
The commander PRO. Where he said the officers were being arrested, comprising of an inspector and two other junior officers were being arrested, and the investigation has commenced. We were very happy when we saw that report, But as conscious minds in the society, as people who understand the activities of these excesses of our police, we think that is not enough. Before we further this discussion, I would want to show you that video clip just in case you've not come across it. So you're going to be seeing it now in a moment. In case of you didn't come across it.
Okay, the key.
See how the young
Shwashwana.
Where did I go?
Okay, the key. Shwashwana.
Where did I go?
Yes, my conscious audience. Yeah, if you just watch this video with me, it's on my wall. You can actually see the video yourself and view it over and over again. It's just a short 43 seconds video that's on the social media. And funny enough, this video you saw, it's just, by a virtue of chance. You saw even the recorder was doing it hiddenly without the consent of these officers. And it is just one out of many that you see persons who can actually video this scene. You saw another one that happened prior before now on the ever busy Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. These things are growing trend, and for some of us who are cautious mind, we do not think having a resurface of the NSAS protests, would serve as a remedy. But I think discussing these things and drawing the attentions of the police management team to avenues and laws that exist where issues like this can be reported. On daily basis, youths across Nigeria, particularly the South region and the Southeast region, are largely brutalized by officers and men of the Nigerian police force. You will agree with me that yes, we know that Nigeria is not a perfect state or near perfect state. We have many of these loopholes in our system, but when laws are made to manage these excesses, and after a while these acts or laws are neglected as if it does not reflect the needs of the society, it goes a high way to show that there's executive recklessness, there's executive backup for these activities. And for some of us, we believe that this modern day policing in Nigeria that the Inspector General of Police and his management team always propose to the Nigerian society cannot be a thing of reality when laws that are, enacted by the National Assembly are not respected. Why do I say so? In 2020, sorry, hold on a bit. The police laws were amended, and when that law was amended, we saw, 2015, 16 or thereabout, we saw an establishment of a unit of complaint, of a police public complaint and discipline act that shall be called Complaint Response Unit. And this unit shall be saddled with responsibility to receive complaints from the public. Thus far, in 2016/17, under the leadership of then Inspector General of Police Solomon Arase, some of us who are comrades will literally go to a police station to demand administrative bails for people who have sometimes civil, sometimes criminal issues. And at the end of the day, we noticed that the police were turning the bail avenue of our laws into a money-making venture. So we cried out. Solomon Arase, with the aid of some foreign bodies, established the police complaint response unit. And I think within a space of 6 months, within a space of 3 months, they had nearly 3,000 complaints. I mean, people who actually called in, some who sent messages on WhatsApp, some who wrote the police unit on YouTube, on Twitter and Facebook. But as of today, these call lines of the CRU units are no longer functional. In fact, you spend the whole day trying to reach them on phone. It's not, accessible. The reason is this: because the unit is not fairly taken care of. Because I believe if the unit is funded as, the way most other units, operational units, are being funded by the police, this issue of police recklessness and abuses and oppressive acts and extortive acts will reduce drastically. Do you know that this video that popped up last week is just a tip of what the police are currently doing to our young people in Edo State? I want to use my state of origin and my state of residence as a case study. Police, once they see you, looking flashy, well-dressed, they tell you to be a Yahoo boy, and the next thing they ask from you is your phone. They want to beat you. They want to get that phone out of you. The next thing, they want to take you to the station. They want you to come and bail yourself for 50,000, 100,000, 200,000. In fact, at times, they collect as much as ₦1 million and even more. The truth be said, when these police officers carry out these excesses, there are only a few ways you can actually reach out to the superior authorities to intervene. One of which is calling bodies like the CRU to intervene. On the other hand, writing petitions to the Commissioner of Police or reporting to the Commissioner of Police if you have access to the Commissioner of Police or the PRO unit or thereabout. But the truth be said, if in 2016, 2017, when CRU was created, and in less than 3 months, you had over 3,000 complaints. If you check the statistics of those complaints, I think 15% of it were coming from the northern region of the country. Another broad 50% of it were coming from the southern region of the country. And 35% of it also was coming from the Lagos corridor. What does that tell you? That tells you that the police excesses in the southern part of Nigeria is poorly handled. Now, after Solomon Arase left the police, you had Mohammed, you had Adamu coming in as Inspector General of Police. The CRU gradually deteriorated, and is still deteriorating under our amiable Inspector General of Police, Akali. Now, today is a Sunday morning, and I want to be very practical with what I'm saying. The police CRU unit has 2 major call lines, one of which is 080 500 Now, this morning, we're going to call this line so that the world will know how prompt the CRO unit is still working. So, Let's give it a call.
Ibrahim Idris announces a people-friendly and accountable police.
IGP complaint response to me. What's up with that? Hello.
Yeah,
Good
hello.
afternoon.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, sorry, good afternoon. My name
Good afternoon. Your name and where are you calling from?
my name is Comrade Agbogu Emmanuel. I called from Benin City, Edo State.
Please, I can't hear you clearly, please.
My
Remove
name
your earpiece, please. I can hear you better.
my name is Comrade Agbogu Emmanuel. I'm calling you from Benin.
Hello?
Hello, my name is Comrade Agbogu Emmanuel. I'm calling you from Benin. Yes, the whole of yesterday, I wanted to report an issue to your complaint response unit, but the numbers weren't going through. So I think now that I've gotten you, I think it would be perfect I lay this complaint. Last night at about 11 o'clock, some persons called me from GRA Benin City that they were being intercepted by officers of Nigerian Police Force, and they were forcefully made to pay monies to the police officers before they got their freedom. Their reason was that they suspected them to be Yahoo boys, while these were just young persons who were out of school because of the strike, and they needed to just while away time in one or two drinking joints across the GRA axis of Benin City, Edo State. So we don't know. I think by tomorrow morning, when it's a working day, I will have them in my office to give me formal complaints. So how do I send these complaints across to you, sir?
Authentic transaction
Sorry,
that was collected,
come again.
policeman. So just channel it to our WhatsApp number.
Okay, thank
Hello?
you. Yeah, thank you very much. I've heard you. Thank you. So you heard what the officer said. Now we can channel these complaints to their WhatsApp number, and I think after this live broadcast, I'm going to be calling these young persons to avail me their information, and if they know the vehicles and what have you, then we'll forward it to the WhatsApp number. I'm going to be broadcasting these things live so that this issue of police intimidation on our youth will reduce drastically. I'm very surprised that this Sunday morning they are picking. I think that shows the wide criticism that has come out from dailies that have been written in recent times. The truth be said, whatever thing that needs to make our police function very well, nobody should take it for granted. We only have one police force in Nigeria, and that is the Nigerian police force. Whether they are criminals there, or they are armed robbers there, or they are evil men there, like the likes of Abba Kyari, who specializes in doing all forms of illicit acts with the opportunity of being a police officer. It is very, 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 very important that people get to know these things. I'm seeing a comment from my brother here, General Elvis, who is saying, Emmanuel, be careful on how you diffuse information. The people you just told us that the line was not going, but they just picked. Yeah, you heard what I told him. I said there were complaints yesterday, and I intend to try the number this Sunday morning if the numbers were going to go through. But yesterday their lines were not going through. You call it to play the jingles over and over again, and nothing goes through. See, let us look at it here. I'm not trying to cast aspersion on the police. I want a very effective policing society. Last week when that publication of when that video popped up on the social media of how that young man was arrested, some of us knew the calls we placed across to the commissioner of police, and other relevant agencies to ensure that they look into this issue, because this was what brought about the NSAS when a shooting occurred in in Wari Ugeli axis, and a police officer, the alleged the young man died and what have you. That sparked up the reaction of boy police were not too much, So what some of us want is that these things should be made effective. If I further want to explain to somebody like my brother General Elvis, you might not be aware, this police response unit ought to have a branch in every police command across the 36 states of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and all the management, senior management formations like the AIGs, zonal offices, where these reports will be taken into. But except you don't really know, I want to believe that if you're in Europe, you might not understand what I'm trying to explain so much. Most of the times you barely, do not get them like this. Today is a Sunday morning and wow, I got the call and I laid my complaint, and by this evening I'm going to call those youths. They will come and identify to me how those arrangements they had came about and what really transpired, and I will put up a WhatsApp message and also follow it up, because the truth be said, if you knew what it took for the girl who recorded that video while that guy was being molested, if the girl had not used her Android phone at that point in time when those policemen were assaulting that young man, it would be an issue of their words against the young man's word, and nobody will ever believe that that young man was slapped. And the question to ask is, how many times do we even get opportunity to video at our policemen when they are having issues with us? You see, most times when they see you on your camera, they even go as far as wanting to seize that phone. So not until when all of these things are balanced. Somebody might just say, oh, you want to... I'm not alleging anybody here. I'm only just trying to explain to you what youths are facing. You might think it's so funny until when you become a victim. You might just think it's so funny until when you become a victim. The truth be said, security agencies should not be seen as a thorn on citizens' flesh. They are ought to be the last hope of the common man, particularly when it is, on issues that border on civility. A policeman parks you and says he wants to see your paper, you show him your paper, he does everything about your vehicle. There's no formal complaint about you from anybody, no petition about you from anybody. The policeman asks you for your phone. For crying out loud, what has your phone got to do with vehicle, verification or whatever? And from there, it led to what you'll be seeing. Tell me, if those youths were in an Audi vehicle or in a keke napep, most times they do stop them in a keke napep, but if they're in one of these scrap vehicles, nobody would look at them. But you saw the vehicle the young man was using where they were forcing him for his car key. It was a GLK Mercedes-Benz. I really don't know what the young man does, but the truth be said, why stop him on the road? And why forcefully wanting to seize his vehicles? And why want to take charge? Even if we've seen something incriminating on him, can't you decently handcuff him? The young man was still trying to appeal to them, epa. You heard how they slapped him multiple times. For crying out loud, would that happen to the son of the Inspector General of Police? Would that happen to the son of a serving senator? Would that happen to the son of a House of Assembly constituent seat? These are the issues. For some of us who are on this end, as comrades in the society that advocates for rights of our people, if I tell you the daily complaints I receive of this police station or that police station and what have you, so sadly at times you hear about cases of two persons, who had, a fight, and one quickly ran to the station, and the police tell that one to mobilize and get them to arrest the other person. At a point in time when the police is supposed to be a mediator, try to reconcile both parties and see how they can settle amicably, the police will tell the other party who was arrested to come and bail himself. What that implies is that further creates more enmity within the both parties. We see that on daily basis. We see that nearly on daily basis. We see that nearly on daily basis. So it's not like maybe we want to just shout at our police. No. What if you heard me when I started saying? I said, how do we advance? How do we advance this thing? How do we make sure that it doesn't, this complaint, this response to these issues are always prompt like this in our state command? Because this number you are seeing now, there are two numbers you can call in. They are the numbers the 36 states of the Federal Republic of Nigeria rely on to lay complaints. These are the numbers that they rely on to make complaints. Imagine over 300 million people calling through telephone lines to lay complaints of a police that we know, their excesses are on the other, on the higher side. I really started by saying we should understand that even the law that sets up the CRO unit, funny enough, CRO unit, the complaint response unit, is one of those units that are backed up by law. Most of these units you hear, crack team, anti-vice, anti-robbery, the laws do not set them up. They are, units set up by the Inspector General of Police. But what we talk about the CRO unit, this is a unit enacted into law by the National Assembly and appended to by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And what is the need for these laws, this act, is to ensure that people who have complaints can, at any point in time when they have mobile networks or what have you, call on the complaint unit and lay these complaints, and these matters are followed up. I tell you, even if you complain about some officers and they are being detained for a week or two or thereabout, despite the harsh actions they've carried, you still see them a week or two later, after the 2 weeks they spent in the cell, still going about this police work, still carrying sophisticated firearms, and there's no training or retraining or whatsoever. So what we are calling on the Inspector General of Police to do is to ensure that he makes this complaint response unit very effective. Very, 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 very effective. We were on this broadcast also when I said that the Commissioner of Police in Edo State said he will not condone with that. He immediately ordered for the arrest of these persons. And you saw the police come out to identify them. And in the course of our discussion, you also heard when in the course of the statements from the police PRO at the Edo State Police Command, you also heard when he said that the outcome of the investigation will also be made public. It's unlike what you hear normally, and we have a reason for continuously, ensuring that these check and balances are done. If you take out the civil society from majority of these activities happening on the social media space, you will not get any form of justice. I can concretely tell you that the reason why the ROT is not working is because as effective as it ought to be by now, is basically because the police officers feel that their rights to benefit from all these excesses will be drastically monitored, and so therefore they might not have the opportunities they deem to have. No matter what, nobody should tell you to pay money for bail. Bail is a constitutional right. Bail is a constitutional right. And when people start telling you to pay money for bail, it goes a long way to show that our society is drafting into, if I use the word extinction, or into societal crisis, because you don't know what poor people face. I see young boys who, with the modern day dress sense and hip-hop lifestyle, want to try to have dreadlocks on their head, want to have a feel of a free life. The next thing, they become targets of the police. They become targets of uniformed persons. It's so sad that not until when we decide to jointly put an end to these things, it will definitely not come to an end. It will definitely not come to an end. police brutality, particularly in my state, Edo State, is on the high side. Police brutality is on the high side. Police extortion is on the highest side. I don't think there's any police formation in this country that makes monies from bail the way people in my state or my police command does. So what we want is a change. What we want to walk into police stations and see that, oh, I have a complaint to make. The police will not tell me to buy them fuel, despite the fact that volumes of fuel, have not been received. Volume of fuel have been made available, some liters of fuel every day for policing. Even President Mohamed Buhari signed some amount of money at some point to ensure that there's fuel delivered to every police formations in the country to police the country. But what do we see? The reverse is the case. Do you also know that for some persons to go to the police station, it's not only until when they extort you and you want to bail a family member and the police tell you to go and bring 50, 100, 300,000 for bail, that is also a crime that needed to be reported to the police complaint response unit. And you have to hold on when you complain so that they can also reach back to that police unit and ensure that, the right thing is done. The truth be said, most people will say, oh, it never happened to me. But whether you like it or not, as far as you live in this Nigerian society, before you turn up to 40 or 50, you must have, an issue to do with the police, either as a complainant or as a respondent to a petition or as an alleged person. You must have, and you will have to part away with your money. I have seen cases where two sisters were fighting and the younger sister ran out to inform the police. The police came and invited the elder sister. She came to the police station. She was detained, and at the break of the issue, they now saw that it was the elder sister that was saying, come, you're not growing old, you're not growing younger, you're growing old, you need to settle down, you need to put things in order. I want you to be, are you not seeing your mates around? That led to a quarrel, it led to a fight. And at the end of the day, the elder sister was made to part away with over 15,000 naira of her money. And what happened at the end of the day? What happened at the end of the day? Till date, as we speak, the relationship between the elder sister and her younger sister, who meant well for the elder sister, who meant well for the younger sister, are torn apart. They barely see themselves as citizens of Nigeria, but not family members anymore. Because sister say, for you to carry me go police station. In fact, people now see police station as anybody will go report for police station, one and are your enemy. It shouldn't be so. It shouldn't be so. For me, I believe if we're talking about police reforms, the integral part of it should be the relationship, the first step relationship with the police at all stratas. Police should be able to accommodate. I see some senior police officers, the way they accommodate you, you'll be baffled. But some, once you see them, they want to show the superiority of being a senior officer, and that is it. So that is it. So my conscious people, just as we appealed, we want the Inspector General of Police to ensure that with immediate urgency, he establishes core control units in all the state commands so that these numbers will be made available to citizens, publicize the way they publicize daily meetings of management and daily interactions with the police and various agencies of government. It should be a daily reoccurrence that even when the commissioner, the IG of police wants to round up his speech at any fora, he should always remind Nigerians that there is a complaint response unit and the phone numbers of every command is made available at the front gate of every police command, boldly written, so that people will understand that when they have challenges, for the fact that you committed a crime and that crime is prosecutable, that does not mean that, and it's bailable, that does not mean you will not get bail when you have a reliable surety. Police shouldn't see it as an avenue to milk poor people. to milk people. People pay a lot, to the police that is unaccounted for. So if we're able to get it straight, and we see that yes, these things are applicable and they are turning out, then you will see that people will be cautious enough to tell our House of Assembly members to begin to bring out complaint lines where they can also lay complaints of issues that bother them at the constituency level. But not until when we get it right with our police. It will be very hard to get it right with other agencies. So there's Freedom of Information Act. If you write to some government agencies, the way they will frustrate you with failures or decline of informations, it will be very baffling. So the truth be said, what we are clamoring for is that we want the police to be rebranded. I have a whole lot of friends who are in the police, some of which are my classmates in school, and when we sit down to discuss these things bone to bone as colleagues, and yes, they say, oh boy, it's the status quo, but that status quo has to change. If I walk into the police station, I will have to, if I want to go and make a report, I'll have to buy fuel, I'll have to hire a taxi, I'll have to pay for bail bond, I'll have to, if I'm driving on the road, the police officer stops me. If I don't want to be delayed for him to check my paper, I'll have to settle him. All of those things. The fact be said, it is we the young youths that are suffering. I've never seen where you say a 60-year-old man will be, except maybe when there's a criminal case or established against him, that's when you say, but we the youths are the ones that are suffering more. So my conscious people, I believe this Sunday morning is a perfect time for me to come up live and explain these things to the consciousness of our people. Very soon we'll be launching a campaign to call on the Inspector General of Police to immediately establish complaint response units in all the commands as enacted in the law, as enacted as enacted in the Police Act amendment that was signed into law in the fiscal year of I think 2016. In the fiscal year of 2016-2017, these were part of the opportunities President Muhammad Buhari greeted us with the National Assembly, with their change mantra. And when some of us saw the way these laws were being made, we felt it was a sign of relief. In fact, this act was made available to the public 2020 from what I'm seeing here. So please, let us enjoy this freedom to see Nigeria as our own. Freedom to see Nigeria as our own. Because with what we are currently witnessing, I'm not too sure that it will go down well. So once again, I want to appeal to the consciences of the police management team to look into these gray areas we have discussed about. It's so touching to me and it's so disturbing that I don't have any other option than to start coming up live to demand for these things. So my conscious Edo people, let us also look out for the resolution of what the first Edo State Police Command PRO did say, that the outcome of the investigation will also be made public. So this is our simple call this morning, and we also want to join Nigerians to also let them know while we leave this broadcast that Abba Kyari is not the only police officer that is corrupt. Abba Kyari is just only one of the many. So let us not look at it as if the Super Cop is the only bad egg. There are very many bad eggs doing worse things than Abba Kyari with the opportunities given to them as police officers. So once again, I want to say thank you for joining us in this broadcast. Please, if you have come in contact with this broadcast and you believe the content of it means well for our public, we are currently 27 of us watching this broadcast this very minute. I want to plead with us that we share this broadcast this moment, so that persons who are not cautious can immediately begin to get the needed information to change some of these narratives. I'm Comrade Igbogu Emmanuel. My simple way of, contributing my own quota to the society is what we are seen doing. And frankly speaking, we want a better society, a better policed society that we can beat all our chests to say, yes, we are proud of our police because we see them do great things. So let the great things also reflect in their conduct and the check and balances of their conduct. For me, I want to appeal to you, if you're watching, please do us a favor by sharing this broadcast. We are currently 31. Please do us a favor by sharing this broadcast. The police response unit is one of those units that will put an end to this anyhow behavior of our police officers. So if you're watching, please share this broadcast. I myself will also want to live by example by sharing it. We're currently having 4 shares. I also want to share it to several groups. So please, before leaving the broadcast, if you're with us, please ensure you share this broadcast. We're currently 24. Please ensure you share the broadcast. We want the Inspector General of Police to please make the CRO unit functional so that by the time when we put up complaints, we would say we have already complained. At the time of filing this report, we have already complained to the CRO unit, and we hope that the best is done. So, my conscious Nigerians and Idolites out there, if you're with us, please ensure you share the broadcast. On our own part, we are also doing ours here by way of sharing. So if you're with us, please share this broadcast. I think it will go a long way to inform a vast majority of our people and also let the authorities know that they need to do something about the deteriorating CRO unit. In fact, by now, the 3rd year, we believe that CRO unit should have been well established across the length and breadth of Nigeria. So, once again, we want to say thank you to all those of you who are here, who are watching, and to those of you who have also joined us in sharing this broadcast. And for some of you who made this broadcast in the course of your interaction with my page later in the day, I also want you to share this broadcast. Once again, I am no other person than yours, noble rider activist, Comrade Igbogu Emmanuel. I do believe change is inevitable. Let us put our hands together to make ours achievable and our society a better place for all. Once again, I'm Comrade Igbogu Emmanuel. Bye for now.
Now we don't hear from Emmanuel Igbogu. Let us know what you think. For this matter, go to comment section, make you put your own. If you never subscribe to that ARG YouTube, try make you subscribe so that make you for the hear all the things where they happen for Nigeria. Make I leave you now with this video, make you help us share. Thank you for watching that ARG YouTube.